I'm ready.
Welcome to Survivors and Overcomers Journey with your host, Tanya King, where we share real life stories and take you on a journey through the life of our heroes in our families and communities. Today, we have joining with us Rosaland Caselberry, all the way from America. And so today, how are you? Welcome to our show, Rosalind. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm great. Glad to have you here today. And
Thank you.
starting out, where were you born?
I was born in Gaston, Alabama, a little small town about 45 minutes from Birmingham. So, yeah.
Okay. So what state is Birmingham in?
It's in Alabama.
Okay, in Alabama. Cool.
Yeah.
And when you were a little girl growing up, what was it like growing up? What are some of your fondest memories?
Oh, Well, I had a difficult childhood, but some of my fondest memories would be, so I had a lot of uncles, and most of them lived out of state because they were military. So of course, when they come home, it was we were going to barbecue or going to the movies, or they was taking us somewhere, So that was the most fun. I had an uncle that he would take us to Florida, to Disney World. He would always plan those trips. So that was good times. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And what were your parents like growing up?
So I had a single mom, and my mom has history of mental health disease. So it was not stable. I didn't have a stable upbringing. And then my father was married.
Wow.
I didn't have a father. My dad had several kids around town. So
wow.
Me and my brother, I had 3 older brothers. So I'm the youngest. I'm the baby and the only girl. So we would kind of bounce around a lot, from my grandmother to uncles, aunts, cousins, foster home.
Wow.
So interesting. My mom was kind of in and out of house a lot, maybe once a year, something like that. So
wow.
Yeah.
And you're still here.
I'm still here. God is good.
Absolutely. Yeah. A survivor and overcomer. Absolutely. Yeah. And as a teen growing up, what do you remember?
Well, I was always kind of in my own lane. So I didn't do the cliques. I didn't do, I wasn't into fashion, which I'm still not. I'm a bit of a tomboy. So, I got through school because of the, my upbringing, my childhood. I didn't know who I was, of course. And, when you don't have a stable home or parents, you kind of become prey to predators,
Very true. Vulnerable.
Yeah, and I didn't know who I was. I was kind of, walking around asleep, basically. Didn't know my self-worth, anything, And, my grandmother didn't really, teach me that, or was able to even handle, dealing with that. She was trying to make sure we ate, had somewhere to sleep, stuff like that. But anyway, I had 2 babies by the time I graduated high school.
Wow.
Yeah, when I got there, they were in the audience. When I walked across the stage, they were in the audience. So yeah.
But the good thing is, as I said, you're still here. And I mean, amidst all the challenges you went through, even going into foster care is definitely like not an easy thing to go through or having parents with mental health challenges is definitely not easy. So, I mean, to make it through that, still be here and even have a smile on your face is still amazing and a blessing. So hats off to you in that.
Thank you. God's merciful. God is merciful, graceful.
Yes.
Mhm.
God is absolutely good. He keeps us through so many things, you know.
Yes.
So many things. And can you tell us about your journey as an adult? Did you start a family? Anything?
So I have 3 sons. I worked hard. I was a single mom. Their dad really wasn't a positive, presence. So
Yes.
I raised my sons, by myself. I decided to go to nursing school, so I got my nursing license.
All
I've
right.
been for like 20 years. So I made it through. I raised my sons, I taught them all the things I didn't know. And, I gave them, their self-worth, and I told them who they were, who they are.
Yes.
So, basically, yeah. So,
yes. And are there any challenges or obstacles you faced and overcame along your journey?
Oh, of course. It's just been over the past 3 years that I started focusing on me and my healing and finding out who I am.
Yeah.
Nursing is what I do, it's not who I am.
Correct.
So, so it's been a lot of work, a lot of spiritual work. I've been doing work physically on my body, eating right, drinking plenty of water, I started meditating, and just find out who I am, my higher self in my life. So it's a great feeling when you find out who you are.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I've had a lot of challenges because I'm my mother's legal guardian, so I'm still dealing with, she still struggles with mental health.
Wow.
A lot of times, a lot of them don't want to do treatment or take their meds, so that's what she's been for 40 years. So I'm still been, doing that with her. I've had a lot of struggles. It was because my boys were in a lot of activities. It's expensive to take care of children. It's just a lot. I found myself working more than I was at home, which wasn't good.
Right.
So that was a big challenge for me because it really bothered me.
Yeah.
That same they need a roof over their head and need to eat. So that was a challenge for me. I'm proud that my oldest son, he graduated from one of the top Ivy League universities in this country, in Atlanta.
Nice.
Actually, yeah. So, and then he started having symptoms of, mental health issues, like a few more. So that was devastating. It's been a struggle. So
yes,
he was driven. He had gotten a full academic scholarship.
Wow.
With no debt.
Wow.
So he's blessed. He's still blessed. He's accomplished more in his first 25 years than most people will accomplish in their lifetime. So
yes.
Good, still good. This is a journey. I brought them into this world, but it's up to them. I tell them this all the time. I brought you in this world, but it's up to you how you're gonna live it, how you're gonna live. So yeah. No matter what, because we're responsible for ourselves, and it's the decisions that we make.
The decisions we make, absolutely.
Yes.
That's wonderful, though, to see that he made it through. In spite of he's graduated.
It's every day.
Yeah.
It's a daily progress process.
Yes, it's a daily process. Yeah, but it's really good to see that you were able to be supportive of your son and he was able to graduate. And I mean, no matter what challenges you faced, having to work more than you would want, you were still able to be supportive as much as you could as a mom and, to bring him to that place, it's amazing to see what can happen, even as you're a single parent, to see that you can press through in spite of all the challenges you press through. And so, I mean, that's another thing, surviving and overcoming. Raising young boys is not easy. I don't have a son, I have a daughter, but I know raising boys is not easy. They have a lot more energy sometimes. When you see that, when I look at the boys and girls, I find the boys, oh my gosh, it's more work.
They would and it's different in this country, you know, raising black boys, and that we have a different type of experience.
Yes.
Different type of worries. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the worries and the concerns that you sometimes have, because you're sending them out there and you don't know what they will face on their journeys, you know. So, I mean, hats off to you. Hats off to you with 3 boys. And are there any victories that you'd like to celebrate?
Oh, that just, you know, my sons are adults now. You know, my oldest is 30.
Wow.
And then my babies will be 25 in July. So I raised them. And I taught them, you know, I taught them things that I wasn't taught, you know, just to let them know what's out there, you know.
Yeah.
I wasn't looking for them to be teenage fathers, you know. So I taught them we're not teenage fathers. They was out of I have one grandson, he's 5, he'll be 5 next weekend actually.
Wow.
And my oldest son and the mom actually both had already graduated college, you know, before they had a child. So that's an accomplishment.
Yeah.
that is an accomplishment. You know, they didn't you know, go out and have a lot of kids all over this city, you know.
Yeah.
They're responsible. So and I kind of feel like my oldest son, my grandson wouldn't be here if he hadn't started having the symptoms that he was having, because he was conceived around the time my son had started having symptoms, because he was always focused and responsible. So
yeah,
it is, God has his reasons, but my grandson is here and he's beautiful. He's a joy. I wouldn't change that for the world, but I'm proud of my sons for accomplishing what they have accomplished and being focused and not being irresponsible.
Yeah.
But you have to teach our kids, you know, because we teach them about sex, don't mean we're telling them to go have sex. No.
Yeah.
When I keep them curious, that's when they go out and experiment. But I started teaching them when they were 10, 11, 12. This is how you use a condom. This is what these diseases look like. Okay. Yeah. It's, you know, I just gave them all the information so they won't be curious. You know, that's what you have to do. You have to teach. When they feel like something is wrong with it, that's when they want, I want to see. And, you know. Yeah, the curiosity. No, they don't have any information, but I did that for them. Thank you, Jesus. And I'm glad I did. Yeah. So I'm proud of that. And I started writing my first novel in 2011. It took me 8 years to finish it, but I finished it. Wow. Twice, actually. I did a revision and released that in February. So, and I had one self-help book. So, yeah, I'm doing a lot of things that I didn't think I would ever be doing right now. Yes, I'm doing a lot of things that I think I would be doing. Yeah. Amazing.
And to be an author is just a great accomplishment. I'm really excited about the books and that you have put out there, and I'm looking forward in May as we are starting to get our next series together that will be talking about Black entrepreneurs. So I'm looking forward to having you on that. It's amazing to see what you've done, that even though you started at one point, no matter what life gave you, you continue to press, and you can we can look at you as a community hero. You're a nurse. We sometimes I talk to my nephews and stuff about the different community heroes, and to us, a nurse is a community hero. You're helping people every day. And I am so grateful for all the nurses, the doctors, you know, people who were there in the midst of the pandemic and everything. I'm grateful for you people. You guys have put your life on the line to help others. And so, I mean, you know, hats off to you. Congratulations to you on accomplishing the 2 books that you have. And my next question would be, how are you creating a legacy for future generations in your family and or your community?
Well, my legacy will be to keep fighting no matter what is going on around you.
Yeah.
If the building is falling apart, just keep moving, keep moving. Because, life is going to throw all kind of stuff at you.
Absolutely.
But we have to keep moving towards our purpose and whatever God's will is for our life. Because his will is going to prevail. So we may as well keep moving. Keep moving.
That's it. That's it. Wonderful words of wisdom for us. And my last question for you is, actually, I have two more. What have you learned in your lifetime? And can you share a nugget or two of wisdom with us that you can?
In my journey, having a mom with mental illness, of course, she wasn't very always pleasant or nice or loving, kind, not stable. I've learned unconditional love.
Yeah.
Not to hold on to anything. I had to keep moving. So you can't, it's like drinking poison. You can't hold on to offenses. You can't hold on to hurts. You can't hold on to, somebody mistreated you or whatever.
Yeah.
It could be horrific. Can't hold on to it, because if I had held on to a lot of things that I went through or was done to me, I would be dead. Because it'll kill you. Unforgiveness will kill you.
Very true.
Will kill you. Yeah. Let it go. That's a chapter in my book, How to Love Unconditionally. Let it go.
Yes.
So, and then I would amaze myself, like, wow, they just cussed me out, but I'm feeding them, but I'm like, okay. God made me so, but I've learned boundaries. So the past 5 years, I've learned boundaries. You still have to, you have to check yourself, your own well-being at times, and learn how to say no.
Very true. Boundaries are very important. And as you said, letting go, that forgiveness is key, especially as a believer. A lot of times people do things to us that most people would not even they wouldn't bat an eyelash to say, here, let me give you something to eat. But the Bible talks about it, if your enemy is hungry, feed him. So it's one of those lessons we learn, and we just keep trying, no matter how bad people treat us, to let it go. Right. Because at the end of the day, when you're unforgiving, it's like you're killing your own self. It's toxic. So
it is very toxic. Sometimes people can't get past it. You can't move forward if you're holding on to something, behind you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And my last question is, what is your vision or hope for the future?
So I'm also an aspiring actress.
Ooh.
So I want to be acting more. I'm going to do more acting. I have 3 more books to write.
Wow.
How to Love Unconditionally. It's like a series, supposed to be 4 books. I only have 1.
Okay.
I have 3 more. And then I want to start doing some missionary work.
Wow.
Yes. So that's my big picture, is missionary work. Bringing hope to people who are, living in poverty and just don't have any hope.
Yeah. It's necessary. It's needed. That area is definitely needed. Yes. There's a lot of hopeless people out there that just feel like I've seen like a lot who have dealt with abuse, or people who have dealt with different things. And it's just, they're just kind of like, I don't even know why I'm here. Many people are suicidal, and they just don't feel like, there's a reason to live. But I mean, I'm hopeful that more and more people will consider people who are poor, people who are going through different things. How can we help, and how can we make our community better? Right. Hoping to see that. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to share your story and with us here on Survivors and Overcomers Journey. And I wish you all the best. Thank you again.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for sharing with us today.